What is up, Watch fam? Happy Thursday, and welcome to this week's episode of AskTNH Live. I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and today we are answering live questions on Instagram. So follow along at Theo and Harris so you can ask your own questions live to be answered. All right, let's do it. Let's jump into a quick wristwatch check first. I'm wearing one of my absolute favorite watches from the Theo and Harris watch shop. It is a Seamaster Day Date. It's oversized, probably somewhere, I think we have the exact measurement on the website, but in like the 36 to 37 millimeter category or range there. But for a 36, 37 millimeter watch, it's actually much larger. It wears much larger due to the dial size, due to the thickness of the lugs. It has beautifully beveled wide lugs, and I have it here on a vintage beads of rice bracelet. Probably to me one of the most beautiful types of watch bracelets in the game. So the condition on this thing is wonderful. It's freshly serviced, and all of that. Couldn't be more proud to be wearing it. And if I didn't say it already, it is in the watch shop at theoandharris.com. All right, let's get into the first topic here, which is the Rolex Kermit, a watch that I genuinely think is one of the most overpriced watches in the modern Rolex market. I think it is one of the most dangerous bubbles in the Rolex market. I strongly recommend people stay away from them at the prices they are currently trading at. They're very dangerous. I don't think they're nearly as desirable as they are expensive. I know what $14,000, $15,000, $16,000, $17,000, $18,000 should get you in a vintage Rolex. It can get you a wonderful vintage GMT, a 16750. It can get you some really amazing Submariners. You can get more interesting tritium Submariners with custard patina in wonderful condition for under $10,000, right? Compared to a Kermit, which just has a different color bezel for like $15,000. What's worse than that right now is the market. If you're an outsider looking in, if you have no actual connections to dealers, the market is standing on stilts for Kermits. Dealers are pricing them where they used to maybe trade, but as of most recently, no one is paying that kind of money apart from people who are totally disconnected to the actual watch trading. So people that are on the outside looking in, and they say, oh wow, I look in Chrono24 and everyone has them listed at 14 plus. The local United States dealer has it for 16.7. That sounds like a good deal, right? Let's buy it. Little do they realize, no one else is going to pay that amount of money. I think it's a watch that a lot of people would liquidate. That being said, I'm not saying it's not an interesting watch. I think that it is. I like it less than the equivalent GMT, that early mid-2000s GMT, but it's equally interesting, I guess. So I could totally see it in the $10,000 to $14,000 range. It's a lot of money, but I could see it. Anything above that to me is totally whack. So for you guys out there that want to know about the Kermit, stay away or be very, very careful and stay away from it at a big number if you are at all interested in residual value. Why does the color change the price so much? Good question. Color is one of the easiest things to change a price, right? I guess it goes down back to what changes the price in a watch, and it comes down to desirability, right? And what is desirable? Things that are obvious and associated with better. Of course, green is not better than black, but it is obviously different, right? And because it was rarer, they have made it better. So what makes it better is glaringly obvious, right? Like this green bezel, which has made the watch become like this icon of modern Rolex sports watches, and I think unjustly so. So stay away. Cool. Next topic. Another guy, another watch geek, wants to know about our Theo and Harris collaborations. It's something that we're very proud about. Although watches are without doubt our largest passion here at Theo and Harris, Vintage Omega gets me more excited than basically, almost any other like material item. Vintage Rolex is endlessly interesting. I buy other things too, but watches are our thing. But those aren't our only interests. I love being able to explore other, you know, realms and mediums of creation and luxury items, right? I think it's amazing. I love bracelets, right? I wear 2 bracelets. One was my grandma's, one was a gift from my parents, right? I wanted to, with our newest collaboration with Paolo Panco, a Florentine metalsmith, right? I wanted to create something that could be my equivalent, like what I wear on my wrist every day, right? I have such emotional attachment to these 2 bracelets, which are both from Tiffany's, so I wanted to create something that would be the Tiffany bracelet of someone else's life, and that's exactly what happened. I can't tell you how many male and female clients purchased not 1, but 2, you know, one for themselves and one for their husband or wife, you know, and that to me was like, holy shit. You know, exactly what I wanted to happen, and exactly what my mom and I, you know, theorized and kind of like hoped would happen, happened, you know. So collaborations to me, although very time consuming, you know, certainly not the most profitable, you know, venture if you put, you know, time, you know, into consideration. They're so much fun. You know, they make your life a little bit more interesting. They allow us to venture off into different, you know, realms of taste. And you know, beyond, they allow us to introduce you to some of the amazing companies that we know, you know. I don't just associate with watch people. I associate with more people from other, you know, industries than watch people many times. So we are so familiar with people like Paolo Panco, these incredible artisans in a totally different space. So to take our medium and give them, you know, press, that's like a dream, you know. Yeah, cool. How about a casual strap from TNH? Yeah, a weathered down brown. That's a really good question. It's a really good suggestion. And the answer is yes, I definitely want to produce one. It's something that we've thought about before. We work with Jean Rousseau exclusively on our straps for many reasons, primarily because they're the best at making watch straps. But they don't really do too many casual looks, but I know that we could do a suede, something that would kind of, you know, age with time, you know, and of course hold the test of time or pass the test of time, but age. So we're definitely exploring those avenues. One more question is going to be about micro brands. What do I think about micro brands? Which is a super big question, right? That question is probably too big, you know. But here's my skinny on it, and I'll go deeper into it in a conversation with Anna, maybe over a glass of wine. But micro brands are they're always disappointing to me, and they're disappointing to me because I only see I only, you know, as an outside person, you only see the great part, you only see the design, right? I would love to design a watch, you know. I would have not only quality and well balanced and interesting designs, but I would really be able to, with a team of friends and advisors, put together a wonderful product. You know, I genuinely believe that. A product that is superior to so many others on the market, right? So off the bat, you know, I tend to think that what we could do would be quite a bit better than many of our competitors. But further, I always find it kind of sad or disappointing to see how little market penetration micro brands get, and it's for a lot of reasons. And every company has different, you know, boundaries and ceilings, and I can't go through all of them. Ultimately, what happens is, you know, a lot of these brands are unimportant in the grand scheme of everything. They don't make that much of an impact. You know, they're very hard to grow. I had an easier time with my company, right? Because we sell vintage watches that everyone already wants, right? We sell vintage Rolex, and you don't need to have it's not very hard to figure out how to, you know, sell a vintage Rolex. It's one of the most interesting, beautiful, timeless things ever. You know, its value is you know, it speaks for itself. It's hard to create a brand and make people care about it for more than $500, you know, or $600. That being said, there are people out there that are doing it really well. I'm friends with a lot of micro brand guys, and I'm very impressed with a lot of what they do. You know, John Ferrer from Brew is one of the most just generous, nice guys. He's a great designer. He's someone that I would have no hesitation to give business to in 2 seconds. We did some work with Baltic, and I like their vintage inspired designs. Bottom line is, there are good micro brands out there, but the market as a whole does leave me underwhelmed, and it kind of sucks. It's just not easy. You know, I can't imagine it being easy starting a watch brand and designing it from scratch and building narrative from scratch and fulfilling massive order quantities. I mean, think about it like this, right? It's very easy to raise $1 million to start a vintage watch company. I didn't. I had $10,000, but it's very easy to raise $1 million. Why? Because at $1 million, unless the guy is a fucking idiot, you are buying, watches everyone wants at wholesale prices. Worst case scenario, you liquidate your watches and basically break even, right? But if you place $1 million order, in production of a micro brand, $1 million is at risk, entirely at risk. When you're starting a vintage shop, your website is a risk. If you have staff, that's a risk. But with a micro brand, even the asset is worthless, right? Until someone buys it. I could sell a vintage Datejust to anyone in the world. I could sell 30 of them to a dealer if I really had to. But if I had a, Christian Zeron watch, there's no guarantee that anyone would want to buy it. So you really have to create that desire, which is a scary, scary thing. I think something that I will eventually tackle, but until then, we'll see. So that's it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of AskTNH Live. Again, I am Christian from Theo and Harris, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up or the like and subscribe to our channel at Theo and Harris. I'll see you all tomorrow on Liquor Up.